As far as I'm concerned, it was a big day for the Eagles because nobody, almost nobody, thought James Bradberry was coming back. Dallas still stinks. You might do it, King Dingbat here, and what a day it was today, man. What a day. The Eagles, fast and furious, getting guys signed, and to the surprise of all of us, James Bradberry comes back, and now, we're just waiting for that one other guy. We're waiting for the main event. We're waiting for CJ Gardner-Johnson to return as an Eagle, and hopefully, by the time this video goes up, it has happened already, and hopefully he doesn't go somewhere else like Cincinnati. But before we get into it, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, most throttled Eagles content creator in all of the internet. And if you've been subscribed for a while, thank you for all the support you give to me. It truly, truly means a lot. And let me also thank everybody that joined my live stream earlier today. It was awesome. We had like 1,500 people. I can't believe it. I had no intentions of streaming today, but I left work early after the whole Bradberry thing went down because it was like, it was a flood of things going on with the Eagles. And it was just a crazy day. It was a crazy day, not just for the Eagles, but for the NFC East. I honestly can say that I think the NFC East actually got better today. I think the Giants got better. I think the Cowboys, as much as they stink, they got better. And it is just what it is, okay? First of all, you had the Giants right early on. This was really the first thing that went down was Giants sent a third-round pick for Darren Waller to the Las Vegas. I always want to say Oakland, but to the Las Vegas Raiders. I thought that was a great move. Darren Waller is a great get for the Giants, especially with the Eagles' lack of linebacking depth. It could really help them a lot. Problem with Waller is much like Rashad Penny. It's, can he stay healthy? That's the question with him. Can he stay healthy? If he's healthy and if he's on the field, he is going to be big for the Giants. He's going to be a nice safety valve for Daniel Jones. I do think the Giants still need help on the outside at wide receiver. But it was a good move for the Giants. No question about it. No question about it. And then you had, later on, you had Stephon Gilmore go to the Dallas Cowboys. They, I think they traded a 5th-round pick for Stephon Gilmore from the Colts to the Cowboys. He goes. The Cowboys send the Colts a 5th-round pick. Oh, I messed that whole thing up. Sorry, I was watching this cat, and I'm trying to click on this thing. But Colts send Gilmore to the Cowboys, and now you got what they call the Gilmore girls at cornerback. So it'll be fun torching them next year. But in all seriousness, Stephon Gilmore, a few years ago, he might be regarded as the best corner in football. I think he's come down a little bit from then, but still a good player. Him and Diggs should be a good tandem. Their defense got better. They definitely improved today. I'm not going to deny that. However, I still think Dallas's problem is going to be on the offensive side of the ball. They're not going to be able to keep up with the Eagles' offense. Even with those corners, the Eagles are going to be just too explosive, you know. But I do think that they got a lot better today. And one of the other things I want to talk about that I didn't talk about earlier was Kyzir White. Kyzir White gets signed by the Arizona Cardinals. He goes and he hangs out with Jonathan Gannon. Go be with Jonathan Gannon. Get. Go be with him. You know, you like the non-blitzes and you like to get quarterbacks throwing 80% on completion percentage on you. Get ahead. Pinky up. Pinky up always when you drink. It shows you got class. You know what I'm saying? That's the way you do it. And then as far as the Eagles go, obviously we know about Rashad Penny. A lot of Eagle fans telling me that's our #1 back. That's our backs. Our backs are set. They said Kenneth Gainwell, Penny, Boston Scott, and then Trey Sermon. That's it. Eagles are set at running back. I disagree. I believe the Eagles will draft a running back early in this draft. How early? I'll say within the first 3 rounds. I think the Eagles will take a running back. I think that's the plan all along. I think they want to go running back. I like Rashad Penny. I do. But with his with his injury history, I just don't know how you can have full faith that he's going to be okay. I got to have something else. Plus, Scott, who we're going to talk about in a second, he signed today for 1 year, and then Penny's only for 1 year. So you need running backs. I think if you said to me, who is the most likely running back you think the Eagles are going to get in the draft, I would say I would bet money on Gibbs. I think Jamar Gibbs with the Eagles with their second first-round pick, I think that's right around the spot where they could get him. Maybe even trade back, pick up an extra pick, and get him then. But I think he's the most likely percentage. The guy I want the most is Bijan Robinson. So me personally, I want Robinson. The guy most likely I think the Eagles will get is Gibbs. Now, I've said this, I'm going to say this again. If I'm the Eagles, I am going to try to get up to as high as 15 with my second first-round pick. I'm going to take that 30th pick. I'm going to take the second-round pick I have next year from the Saints, and I'm going to take something else if I have to, and I'm going to try to jump up to 15, and I'm going to try to draft Bijan Robinson. And the reason that I want to do this is because if I get Bijan Robinson, okay, all day I've heard, hey, listen, you put any running back behind the Eagles' offensive line, they're going to go off. They're going to go off. The running back's going to go off. That is so true. It is absolutely true. You put an average running back behind a great offensive line, you get a good running back. You put a great running back behind a great line, you get special. You get special. That's why if I'm the Eagles, that's what I would do if I was Howie Roseman. I would try to literally, like at 10, take the best defensive player, whether it's defensive tackle like Jalen Carter falls or something like that, if it's a cornerback, and then with that second first, Bijan Robinson. You add Bijan Robinson to this group here, then you got something, because to me, Rashad Penny, he's 6 foot, he's 5'11", 220, right? Gainwell's smaller, Scott's smaller, Sermon's a little big, but we don't even know if they like Sermon. We don't even know what the deal with Sermon is. But Rashad Penny, and then if you were to get Bijan Robinson, he's 5'11", 220. Like, they're the same size, same size running backs. If that's what the Eagles are going for, Bijan Robinson makes perfect sense. So that's what I hope that the Eagles will do. I don't expect it. I think that more likely than not, they take a running back with probably in the second round, or maybe their second first-round pick like Gibbs, somebody like that. We'll see. We'll see. I don't think the running back situation is closed at all, is basically what I'm trying to say. I don't think it's over yet. And we're going to see them get a running back early in the draft. And as I said earlier, the Eagles also signed Boston Scott to a 1-year deal worth $2 million. I thought that was a good move. I like Boston Scott. He's consistent. He's probably, out of all the running backs on our roster, to me, I feel safest with him. Like, I feel like he's least likely to make a mistake. And of course, the big move of the day is James Bradberry coming back to the Philadelphia Eagles. He signs a 3-year, $38 million deal. And you know what? Bradberry, got to give it to him. Got to give him credit, because we talk so much about, guys that come in for 1 year. They sign a 1-year deal or they're traded. And they're just there to fulfill their contract, show what they're worth, and then get the most money that they can. They're essentially mercenaries. Okay? They're mercenaries. And oftentimes, guys that are drafted by a team have more loyalty to that team. Like you see with Kelce, Lane Johnson, you see with Brandon Graham. But when you got guys that come from other teams, they don't have that same loyalty. And sometimes they have to make a choice to want it. And then, it becomes something beautiful. And that's what we got with Bradberry. Here's what Bradberry said on resigning with the Eagles. Quote, I went back because of the familiarity with the coaching staff. You like the way I said that, huh? Because I love the city and playing for the Eagles. Yes, there were other teams that offered me more, but I feel like Philly fit me best. He made a conscious effort to come back and be with the Eagles. He wanted to. And he went from mercenary to Eagle. And that's what he is. And I'm very happy to have James Bradberry back. Now, the question is going to be, what's the deal with Slay? There was some false reports that I talked about in my live stream earlier, where they were saying that the Eagles had talked to the Cowboys about Darius Slay. That's supposedly untrue, and I'm glad it's untrue. When you think about Darius Slay, can the Eagles keep Slay and Bradberry and hopefully C.J. Gardner-Johnson if something hasn't happened yet with him? But that's going to be the real question. I don't know. But when you think about what Darius Slay's value is, I'm assuming it's got to be a 4th-round pick, right? I'm thinking the most you can get for Darius Slay is probably a 4th-round pick. Why am I saying 4th-round pick? Well, because Jalen Ramsey went for a 3rd-round pick. I think he's slightly better. He's better than him, I'm going to be honest. And then Stephon Gilmore went for a 5th-round pick. I think Slay's better than him. So, really, he's in between both those guys. So, it makes perfect sense that Slay would go for a 4th-round pick. So, do you want to trade Darius Slay for a 4th-round pick? I kind of don't. I would rather keep Slay and Bradberry together. I mean, that's one hell of a dynamic duo at corner. It's better than Gilmore or Diggs. So why not keep it if you can? You know, but we'll have to see. You know, money talks, everything else walks. Is that what they say? I don't know what's going to happen. But I'm excited that James Bradberry is back. It was a surprise. I did not expect that. Did not think that was going to happen. And now all eyes are on C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And hopefully, you know, at the time you're watching this video, he hasn't signed with anybody yet except for if it's us. Because I don't want to lose him. I don't. I'm hoping that the longer this thing draws out and the longer it takes him to sign, the better the chances are for the Philadelphia Eagles. And if he doesn't sign, that's tough because you have already lost Epps, then you're going to lose him. I really feel like when Epps walked out the door, that was a sign that they're doing everything they can to keep C.J. Gardner-Johnson. So my hope is with Bradberry coming back, so will C.J. Gardner-Johnson come back. And if they can't afford C.J., Slay, and Bradberry, then at that point, Slay would be the guy that I would move because he's a little older and he wants more money. Just my opinion. It should be interesting. We will talk more tomorrow. I'll have some videos out. Not sure if I'll be streaming live tomorrow or not. I had to pull a lot of different things to get home in order to stream tonight. So we'll see. But I will have several videos out, most likely. We will be Mark Holmes and you all through free agency. So with that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how we vision. We're all just living in it. So this is pretty interesting. They said that the Eagles locked up Penny, Scott, and Gainwell for a total of $5 million through 2023. So they're paying running backs $5 million total through 2023. This is why I definitely think they're drafting a running back early, because you could get a running back early on a rookie deal for 4 or 5 years, and man, that's a big deal. And listen, people forget, the Eagles drafted Miles Sanders in the 2nd round. I don't see why you wouldn't repeat the performance. Draft a running back early, and then use the crap out of him, which they didn't, Miles, but use them, and you don't have to give him a 2nd contract. But, you know, for 4 years, 5 years, get a cheap deal on a running back. Just my opinion. Denzel Washington out.